So we are here the day after the Washington football team's first loss of the season to the Los Angeles Chargers, and we have a bunch of updates about the quarterback position. Obviously, the main one being quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick, Taylor Heinicke, the backup, and we signed someone to the practice squad. So we're not going to waste no time. We're going to get straight into things. So obviously we know what happened yesterday. If you weren't watching the game, Ryan Fitzpatrick sustained a hip injury. He got hit on his blind side thanks to Charles Leno. He didn't see it coming at all. And the reason why I think this injury is so serious is due to his age and due to he couldn't see his blind side. If you look at the replay of the injury, it didn't even look like he got hit that hard. But you got to think about it like this. He's getting hit by a 250 plus defensive lineman, defensive end, and it's on his blind side. And Ryan Fitzpatrick is 38 years old, so he isn't a young buck out here. So it will be different if a young guy got, a hip supulation. It'll be different if they sustain that injury because they're young and they can heal faster. But Ryan Fitzpatrick is dang near 40 years old. So it's going to take some time for Ryan Fitzpatrick to heal up. And fortunate enough, we have two good capable backup quarterbacks that can come in and ball out. So Ryan Fitzpatrick, he sustained a hip supplication. As a supplication is a form of a dislocation. This is from Chad Ryan of Washington football team's reporter, and it says recovery time is typically 2 to 3 months. So Fitzpatrick generally might be done for the season. Wow. Well, wait for the further scans, of course, and hope that's not the case. So with this injury, like I said, it's very unfortunate, but at the same time, for us fans, it's fortunate because we have two good capable backups. But it's bigger than football at this point. Ryan Fitzpatrick is a great person. He is an exciting person to have around, and obviously you never want to see people hurt. Whether you like the guy or not for his on-field performance, this guy has a life. He's a human being just like everybody else. So it's bigger than football. So this really sucks for a guy like Ryan Fitzpatrick. And when his short time in playing for us this year, he really didn't get into a groove. You know what I'm saying? That whole offense was putrid that first half before Taylor Heinicke came in and gave us a spark, but he really didn't get to show us anything. I know a lot of people are saying out there that his career could be over because he was floating about retirement early this season, and it's just unfortunate, man, that every quarterback we get goes through this. And you can even talk about Dwayne Haskins from 2019, the Green Bay game where he sustained an ankle injury. I know it's a little sprain, but it seems like all of our quarterbacks get hurt. And Logan Thomas likes to think the same thing as me here. He says, and after the post game when they were asked about Fitzpatrick being injured and Taylor Heinicke coming in, he said it's the same thing as last year. So it's bad when the players see the same thing that we see. We're changing quarterbacks every game. You can go back to 2018, Alex Smith hurts his leg, then you go to Colt McCoy, then Colt McCoy breaks his leg or torn ACL, and then you go to Josh Johnson, and then you go to Mark Sanchez. So it's been a revolving door of different quarterbacks every single year. Then 2019, you go from Case Keenum to Dwayne Haskins, and then after that in 2020, you go from Dwayne Haskins to Taylor Heinicke and Kyle Allen to Alex Smith. Like it's just so much, man. It's so much to keep up with. We just cannot have a consistent quarterback out there. But once again, from a fan's perspective, it's so good that we have Taylor Heinicke in there, because I'll be 100% honest, and you guys saw it for yourselves. Taylor Heinicke really looked good, and it's a shame that the defense couldn't get him the ball back, because he could possibly have won us the game, but the defense couldn't get a stop. You know what I'm saying? And I would like to think he would have drove us down to score the ball. The guy was moving the ball so well, and I could honestly say the offensive line actually blocked better when Taylor Heinicke was in the game, and that's obviously due to his mobility, and he can use his legs to get away from pressure, and unlike Ryan Fitzpatrick. So the offensive line did look good. Sam Cosmi looked really solid in the second half. I would like to see Cornelius Lucas get the start next game. I know it's not going to happen, but Cornelius Lucas really was good for us last year, and they decided to go with Charles Leno instead, and he's the reason why Ryan Fitzpatrick is hurt. And other than that, it's just unfortunate, and we have to continue this revolving door of having a new quarterback every single week, it's seeming like. So next man up, obviously we know it's Taylor Heinicke, and this is who I wanted us to start from the beginning. And I'll be 100% honest with you. You guys know that's what I do on this channel. I thought at some point Fitz was going to get, benched. I didn't know he was going to get injured this early. I thought either he was going to get benched or injured at some point, probably like week 8, week 9, but not the first game of the season, bro. I was not expecting that. Like, I was not expecting Fitzpatrick to be hurt the very, very first game of the season. But once again, it's very fortunate we have Taylor Heinicke, because this is who I wanted to start to begin with. What does he have to do to get a shot? You know what I'm saying? That's what someone asked in the comment section in yesterday's video. And what does he have to do to get his shot? Because it just seems like Ron Rivera isn't putting his trust in him, but now he has no choice. But I guess, he has a choice because of Kyle Allen, but we don't really want to see Kyle Allen. Kyle Allen isn't bad, but Taylor Heinicke is really, much better than him as of right now. And the biggest thing that I want to take away from Taylor Heinicke's game yesterday is really proving that it wasn't a fluke, that Tampa Bay game. Because a lot of people were saying, yeah, he had one game because nobody had film on him, blah, 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 and stuff like that. So I'm really excited that he played in that half of football, the 3 quarters he played for real. I'm glad he really looked phenomenal, not only for my fandom and because I want to see my team win, but because of, people saying was it a fluke, and him shutting the critics up about it possibly being a fluke because it's a one game thing that happened in Tampa Bay. Obviously that's not the case anymore, because the guy looked really, really good. And here's another thing you got to think about. Been in the league since like 14, 15. He was with the Vikings for a short period of time, and we obviously know his time with Carolina. Could he have finally figured it out? You know what I'm saying? Could this be the start of something special for Taylor Heinicke and him possibly finding a long-term home? Could this be the franchise quarterback? And obviously he isn't no young buck. He's not that old, but he's obviously not no young buck. It takes different people to develop at different speeds. You see Justin Herbert comes right in and he learns the system. Taylor Heinicke is a guy that takes multiple years to develop. So could he be developed now, and could this be his shot? Could he be our franchise quarterback? You got to start thinking that, because the guy deserves a shot. If he's not our franchise quarterback, he deserves a shot to prove what he can do this year. And like I said again, I don't wish injury on nobody, but I'm really excited that Taylor Heinicke is getting the chance to play, because I really do think he can do something special with this team and with this offense. You just see the energy that he brought to the stadium and brought to the game. My man was at the stadium yesterday at the game, and he told me like everybody was just chanting Heinicke throughout the whole time he was in there. And then he brought a spark. Terry McLaurin pass, he runs, and before he crosses the line of scrimmage, he flips it to Terry McLaurin, the touchdown pass to Logan Thomas. You guys watched the game, so I don't even have to tell you guys, because you saw it for yourselves. But it was just a different feeling when Heinicke was in the game. And could he finally have figured it out? I would like to think maybe that is the case, because the guy has been so good for us in his short term of being a Washington quarterback, or at least being on this roster. So I'm really excited to see what Taylor Heinicke could do for us versus the New York Giants, and basically for this whole season, because they said his season could be done, that being Ryan Fitzpatrick. So obviously we know they're going to activate Kyle Allen to the active roster. He's going to be the backup quarterback to Taylor Heinicke. And we also just signed a guy to the practice squad. The Washington football team signed quarterback Kyle Shermer to the practice squad, just obviously in case anything happens with Taylor Heinicke and Kyle Allen, knock on wood, of course. And as I'm recording this video live, and this doesn't come to no surprise, Washington has placed quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick on IR for at least 3 weeks. Obviously, short-term IR, and it is officially Taylor Heinicke time. So let's go, baby. Rest up, Fitz. Hopefully you feel better, but it's Taylor Heinicke time, and I couldn't be more excited about it. So yeah, man, there you have it. All the updates on our quarterback situation. It's officially Heinicke time, baby. Like, comment, subscribe. Help to watch the football team, and let's get this win Thursday versus the New York stinking Giants. See you guys tomorrow. Peace. Cross me one time, that's gonna get you pop, get you drop, slide on the one where they get you boxed on. I ain't stopping till I get me.